How do you kind of battle that, anointed but not appointed stage?
Yeah, to be anointed knows you know that God called you and that He chose you. And Zach, I think the best way to say this out loud is that when it comes to God's will in everybody's life, it's timing and it's opportunity. These are the two things: timing and opportunity. And I want to play out two scenarios. You're anointed, God's chosen you. Timing, opportunity. You're like, the timing is right. Oh man, the timing is right, but you got no opportunity.
Mm.
Or you got opportunity, but for you to go do this means that you're going to have to give up something. And I'll give a case in point. Your parents are sick, and you're like, I got to care for my mom and dad. And that opportunity seems great, but it requires me to move to Wisconsin, and I'm making up a story here.
Sure.
And I got to walk out on my mom and dad that need me right now. Thank you. The opportunity. So those two scenarios, and what I would say is that in the principle of timing and opportunity, I call it favor. You follow favor. When God's timing and God's opportunity comes together, that's the beauty of God's favor of a door of opportunity. But I know we live in a world that's like, man, if the door didn't open, then kick it down. Here's what I would say is if the Holy Spirit of God didn't get you there, then you better invite him into the story, because if you get yourself in this situation and then you go through the dark night of the soul and you feel like giving up, guess what's going to happen? You're going to quit. But then there's moments where you find yourself in situations that you go, God, you anointed me, but it took me a long time to figure out, what you were doing in this. And I was here and I was here and I was here and I was here and doing different things along the way. And you never wasted the process. You were teaching me stuff along the way. And I would say to somebody, bloom where you're planted today. Be obedient in the small things. God says this to you, no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts to this. Because what if you got what you want because you're anointed, but you want to be appointed? But what if in the process of being anointed and appointed, God had to actually put some things in you that only come through hardship, that only come through faithfulness, that only come working in the shadows when nobody sees you, that only comes with discipline and devotion. Why? John Wooden said it better than anybody else. He said your talent can get you to the top, but character is the only thing that keeps you there.
Mm.
And so you could be anointed, but if you're not yet appointed to the right moment and you try to appoint yourself, then you're going to forfeit the lessons that are necessary for you to be successful in that next space that God's called you to. You don't want to shortcut the process. So if you try to kick a door down, it might be half baked on that deal. It wasn't ready. It wasn't ready to come out the oven yet.
Mhm.
It wasn't ready. So don't microwave it.